Training wheels. God gives us training wheels. Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. We're still driving in training wheels. like, take them things off. No, we fall. No kidding. You gotta fall because you gotta learn how to ride this thing. We're rocking around with training wheels. Training wheels. Well, I accepted the Lord. 1972. I'll never forget that day. 1979, I accepted the Lord and I've been a believer all my life. Praise the Lord. I accepted the Lord. It's been 40 years, you're still rocking like somebody who's got training wheels. When is he going to rock in you and talk through you and manifest by you? That's what he's waiting for. Oh, no, I don't want to take the glory of the Lord. What? That don't even make sense. You are the glory of God. How can you possibly take what you are? You are the glory of God. Oh, no, I ain't be taking the glory of God. Like you can take the glory of God. I mean, that is so stupid. If you take the glory of God, you have to bring it somewhere where he is not. And he's omnipresent. Come on, somebody. Where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put it? Oh, we got to get back to work over here. I accepted the Lord. I forgot. 1972. I'll never forget that day. Glory.
In 1991, Street Fighter II was released in the arcades. This game single-handedly shook the gaming industry and popularized a whole new genre of games.
Oh, yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Hero Shack Chronicles. I am Chris T. Tamirlevich. Well, W. Tamirlevich. And I'm waiting on my wife Diana to show up so that we can have a chat tonight about Cluster Fudge. Ooh, how about that? Almost on cue. Good evening, baby. How are you?
I just heard you saying. I know you were saying I wasn't joining you.
No, that's not what I was saying. I said we were waiting on you to join us.
Well, hello everybody. Is there
And there
anybody
you
in
were
here?
on
Yeah,
cue. The second I said it, you showed up.
I know, right? I'm good
So
like that.
what's going on with Cluster Fudge this week?
Well, we've put together some levels or tiers, as you were talking about. I've sent out some emails to the dudes that are making the products for us, and waiting
So we
back
can
to
get some
hear.
quotes.
Yep,
Yes.
we need to get some quotes so we can price it accordingly to what we're going to offer. We have some signups for our pre-launch page. I'm very excited about that. Let's see what
That is
else.
starting to get signed up on. That is nice. It's nice to see.
That is. We have about 7 people right now signed up. I'm going to continue to try to push it. But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I
Yes,
don't know
you
if that's
can,
a.
but it usually drowns when you do. That's the
You
problem.
usually drowned it. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you can
Oh
make
my
it
God.
drink, but by forcing it into the water, pushing
Hmm.
its head under the water, yeah, it's not fun.
It's not really cool, right? It's not good. Not a good thing.
It doesn't. It never works out well.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of figured that. So yeah. So and I'm updating our Patreon, our coffee accounts. We are not using them. I mean, they're sitting there stagnant, and for one reason or another, I have not been promoting them. But I am trying to turn a new leaf around. I know it sounds like
How do you turn a leaf around?
every time we get here, okay, I'm always saying the same song and dance, and it's not because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I am a very busy lady, and that doesn't mean that Hero Shack is not important. Hero Shack is super important. But with that being said, I have to do other things.
Tread
and
lightly,
whatnot.
editor. Tread lightly.
Yeah. But I'm here, and it's a happening night. It's good. It's all good.
So when do we start accepting resumes for your position? When is that coming?
Shush. Do you guys hear him? Is there anybody in the room besides us right now? Because I just.
Let's see. Skinny's around.
Hey, Skinny.
Skinny, the link to the StreamYard is in the description, I believe. And if not, we can always do this number here. I've been doing this all night too. We're going to be trying to figure out our tiers tonight.
Yes, we are. Well,
we don't really understand Indiegogo. We don't really
understand
stretch goals.
Don't. Oh my God. It's so hard for me. It's just hard.
The stretch goals are going to be even harder. Right now, we're just trying to establish tiers, but stretch goals are where you try to get more backers by offering bigger things.
Why do we have to do that?
Because that's Indiegogo.
Oh, Kickstarter was so much easier.
Yeah, but I don't see. It's hard to say whether or not Kickstarter is as successful for an indie.
Why?
Welcome aboard, Lorenzo.
Skinny. Good for you, my friend. Good for you.
And hello, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
How's it going?
Bro, I'm not in the back. Hi, how you doing, man?
I'm waving.
I'm doing all right.
Hey, Diana. And Chris.
I'm chewing, but I'm waving. Hello, gentlemen. It's so nice to see you all.
Hello Blade there. Is that? Oh, that is
Blade.
the Blade.
And Blade.
Yes, look at. Okay, so see that photo? Blade is scaling a building that's at least 200 years old in that photo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was back when I was planning on going to parkour school in London.
I remember
churches and stuff.
I do remember. How are you tonight?
I'm well. I'm drawing. I have a figure drawing assignment due in 2 weeks, and I accidentally went through all the models already because I was just having fun and listening to music. So I'm just online looking for more stuff to draw.
Awesome.
So I was going to ask about parkour. I hear that term. Is that a style of martial arts or dance or what? Or both?
So it comes from free running, which is all about efficiency of movement, getting across like an obstacle course quickly. But then parkour is the getting across something quickly isn't cool enough, so now we have to add in front flips and twists and stuff.
Oh, so it's
it's kind of think of like a Ninja Warrior, but in urban environments.
Yeah, that's
pretty wild. So I might have been a little wrong on both of the.
I always thought it was ninjutsu on metal or something. To me, I hear metal. Some people would hear dance. Some would hear more ambient type music. But it's like a really high energy aerobics in real life. Like the guys who, like, you've probably seen videos of guys who climb up the skyscrapers and jump across the weird, the weird terrain of an urbanscape. When my son was talking about doing that, I was slightly concerned, but I had seen him do stuff like in Boston and stuff. He was always playing around, so I was like, he could do it.
Yeah, it's fine. My now wife yelled at me for climbing an Applebee's, and that was pretty much the end of it. You're not supposed to do that. Embarrassed her in front of her family.
What scale in Applebee's?
Yeah.
Wow. So I didn't
Thankfully,
realize there was
StreamYard doesn't
feeling
drop when I
involved.
drop.
What's that, Dad?
I said, thankfully, StreamYard didn't drop when I dropped. I just fell out of the room. I don't think anybody noticed.
I thought you just turned off your stuff for a second.
No, when I was doing this because I'm trying to find the pages so I can show off some of the art in the new book. And while it was off, the magic mouse thing is so sensitive that I gestured into the window behind this.
Oh no, that seems to be like a near constant source of.
Yeah, I should be shutting it off any time now because it's starting to drive me batty.
Yeah.
But
Near constant struggle. It's like kind of like what is that? Kind of like a hotkey. I mean, kind of like what is it called on the phone? You got those different what are they called, gestures, or
Yeah.
is it kind of like it gives you?
Yeah, it's a lot like a touch. It's a touch interface on your mouse,
Wow.
so that while you're doing stuff, like you can literally, like if you hit it with 3 fingers and slide to the left, you can switch the whole window to another app and stuff. It
kind of like there's those gestures or whatever on a phone where if you use 3 fingers, it means
yeah, it's exactly the same idea, except it's very frustrating on a mouse.
Yeah, it seems like one of those ideas that sounds good, on paper, but
I'll bet you Jace's generation likes them more. Do you have a magic mouse, Jace?
I'm on a shitty Dell because it's what I could afford when I needed a computer. I am investigating getting a new iPad Pro, though, and getting the Magic Keyboard and stuff. Now that I can technically say, hey, I'm a student, and ask for a discount.
Yeah, what is it? Like we get 10% discounts in education or something?
I haven't done the research yet. I just know that I looked at it when I was still an educator, and then I figured if I'm going to spend $1,300 on a laptop, I'll get something with a graphics card instead of a whatever Intel built-in cheapy MacBook thing they come with.
didn't Apple go back and forth? Like for a while, they gave people like a pretty decent price reduction, and then for a while, maybe they weren't doing that.
I don't know. I've always thought Apple was overpriced no matter what I was getting from them, but you're buying into a ecosystem even more so than the hardware. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Windows guys will be like, oh, well, the hardware isn't as good, or it's limited, or you can't. The big one I hear is you can't upgrade it easily, and that's true. But Mac really does live and die by the whole idea that if you're ready for an upgrade, you're ready for a new Mac. That's their idea for upgrading. Just get a new one.
And that's varied a bit over the years. Like the very first one, you needed a special screwdriver. And then,
sure, yeah.
in order to open the case up, and then when they released there was this G3 that they released. Though I think it might have been when Steve Jobs first came back to Apple, and it was you could just have this little tab on the side of the computer. You could just open it up without even using any tools. That was really cool. And then I think now they've moved back to. Now that he's passed away, they've moved back towards being ridiculously difficult to, like. I mean, I heard it's like there's that Louis Rossmann guy, and he's an unlicensed Apple repairman, and he's having a harder and harder time getting a replacement parts. So it seems like they keep going back and forth between whether or not they're going to be more open and upgradable or not. I think we lost Chris in the process.
I think we did lose Chris again.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's trying to.
Apple.
I know. He knows it though. But you know what?
Yeah.
I'm on a Mac. That's what I'm on, Chris's old Mac. That's what happens is I get the hand-me-down. But he put Windows on it for me because I have a really hard time navigating Apple because my work uses Microsoft. So the company I work for, all our documentation, all our data, everything is Microsoft. So
Wait, do they do everything with Word?
we do. You mean I mean everything is Microsoft. Yes.
Gross. You guys got to get on the Drive so it's
No,
super
we
simple
have.
to share.
Well, it's OneDrive. We do OneDrive. We have OneDrive. Is
Oh,
that?
sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it's
that's
not Google.
Microsoft. Yeah, that's Microsoft's version of.
Yeah, of Google, and it
Yeah.
stinks. I'm gonna be nice about it. It's awful. We all hate it.
I've
But
never used it. My computer just always tells me I need to sign up for OneDrive, and I keep putting it to sleep.
I guess
yeah, I don't blame
I
you.
can share things from like the Xbox. I can take a screenshot and then
Yeah, I
look at
mean,
it on the
there's,
computer or whatever, or phone.
but it's not like I was a Google girl when I worked in the school setting. When I worked in the school district, I did everything on Google. I love Google. Google's so easy. It's very similar to Microsoft, but 10 times better in my humblest opinion. And then when I joined this company, they were all like, oh no, we use Microsoft. I'm like, ugh, gag me with the spoon. But what I was saying is that I'm on a Mac, but I actually use it as a Windows machine because I have a really hard time navigating Mac anything except my iPad. And even then, it doesn't always cooperate.
Hmm.
Oh wow! I always found Mac to be kind of simpler, unless I wanted to do anything kind of like customize the interface or anything.
Uh-huh.
But on the other hand, yeah, it's I don't know. Right
Well, it's
now,
good for like
everybody wants
creative people. From what I've,
Google.
uh-huh.
I'm using a Chromebook, but then again, it's kind of like what
Love
Mac
it.
is like. Is if I want to go and do something more complicated, like if I want to go and like get access to like the system files
Mm-hmm.
on there, it's more difficult. Or if I want to go and like they try to lock things down with a Google Chrome so that people don't just go around messing up their computer.
Right. I'm finishing up some task for work tomorrow. I
I'd
didn't
say
have.
Google Chrome is simpler to use than
It is.
the last time I used Mac. Gosh, that
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be simple, but it seemed like it kept getting more and more complex. Like
Oh, really?
iTunes used to be a great program, and in my opinion, and then it kept getting more and more complicated.
So, Jace, your father's whole Mac just crashed.
Oh boy.
That's what it said in the comments. I'm like, why isn't he back?
Well, there's your advertisement for Apple for the night.
There you go. You know what's going to happen, don't you? He's going to be complaining. I need a new Mac. I'm like, oh my God, we can't keep up with him.
I'm hoping to get a newer iPad just because mine is getting up there now, and on occasion my Procreate crashes, which is frustrating.
Yeah, especially now with you in school.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the other thing. If I get one of the newer ones and I can get like the Magic Keyboard with it, then I can use that as my laptop in class instead of bringing my giant Dell that can't survive for more than half an hour off the charger.
Oh, they do make lightweight computers.
Hi.
That's pretty impressive. Welcome back, Chris. Those now they've got these newer chips, these ARM chips, and whether unfortunately, I don't think people will be. I don't know if people will be able to run Windows on there, but
I don't know.
So I
they
just
got
want
these
to
chips with
report.
ARM processors like on mobile phones, and they're
Oh.
supposed to be really powerful.
I don't know.
I
But
just
I
want to
don't
tell you
know
guys, I
whether or
just
not
had my
they're-
first system-wide catastrophic crash.
Oh God.
That was horrible and scary. I got the little question mark with a folder.
Why?
Oh,
What's
wow.
going on with that? That's not good, honey.
I
That's
don't know.
not
I've
that
never
old of
seen
a
it on this one
computer.
before. I've never seen it on this one before, so I don't know.
They used to have a little Macintosh face and a frown.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Chris,
that was
what do
like
you
if you
think?
could, that was when if your computer was really screwed up.
What did you do to it, Chris?
I ran it like I've always done. I don't know. Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it was just a RAM confusion thing.
Huh.
Whatever I
There's
did,
a
it wasn't
bomb,
good.
a little bomb picture. You remember
No, I
that?
didn't get the bomb. Yeah, no, I didn't get that either. This was a
Do they
question
still
mark
have
in a
that?
folder. It looked like it didn't know where the system was.
I think a bomb meant that there was a system error, and then the frowning Macintosh. That was like the blue screen of death. You had to go and take that to a repair person in order to get that to work.
Is it running okay now, Chris?
I'm testing it right now. It seems to be.
Oh, good.
Dad, what was the one that I had in elementary school that I put in my closet and just used for Warcraft 2?
Well, you had a Macintosh Quad. You had a Centro, a Performer 3, 630 rather at one point. It might have been any one of those three. Basically, you were in the Motorola early Power PC families.
I just remember loving that thing to death and sitting there being a wannabe game designer at, I don't know, what, 7? Maybe?
Yeah, you did want to be.
Those G3s and G4s I was talking about, where you could open up the side quite easily, those were Power Macs. That's too bad that thing didn't work out, because it was I think Apple and IBM trying to create their own, like a new standard for PCs.
Well, they did okay for themselves, though. They ended up getting into the Intel chips after all, and that made a lot of cross compatibility possible. Yeah, capable.
Yeah. It's just I guess those Power Macs. I don't think they're. I think maybe weren't they kind of? Didn't they run kind of hot or something? Wasn't that the deal? And it didn't work very well on laptops.
I don't remember, because I was never, and I'm still really not, a laptop guy.
Okay.
I do use a iPad a lot now, but that's primarily because of the Procreate application. I do it basically for the comics.
Yeah, Procreate's great.
Honey, are these some of the new pictures? I don't think I've seen these. Have I?
No, you have. You've actually proofed them. I'm just trying to hide the dialogue.
Ah.
And one of the new ARM chips.
That rocket is in the sizzle reel.
What's that, son?
That rocket is in the sizzle reel.
Yes. So here's a little insider. Here's a little insider thing about my rocket spaceship here. If it had a handle, it would be a drill, literally. Designing spaceships aren't really my strongest suit. So what I did was I looked at one of the electric drills in the house and sought inspiration.
Now I see. Yeah.
So if you were to put a handle on that thing facing downward, as if it was being held in an angle, kind of in your arm like that, like a gun pistol handle, it would look just like a drill.
Wow. One of the artists I follow does stuff like that. They take common items and they turn them into space stations and different.
That's cool.
Well, it's like
really cool.
It's so weird to try to think about, because I'm like, what would a spaceship look like? I have no flipping idea other than stealing anybody else's ideas,
It's
so
like,
you start looking around the house and you go, ooh, that kind of looks technological if I just did a few things to it.
It's like it says THX 1138. I think he used the video. What is it? There was like the thing for was it mixing video? I don't know I can't even think of what it's called anymore. The video editing deck. He used that and made it look like controls on a spaceship.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that's really. I mean, I think it was there was originally his film he made for college, and I don't know if he completely remade it or what. When they turned it into like a feature-length film, and then then there's also like the special edition or whatever they call it with the digital enhancements. He just can't stop tampering with his movies.
Oh, I understand that.
But the version I wish I could find the version that was on Laserdisc before he added the digital enhancements, because it was quite a cool movie to watch, just to see it was amazing what he did back in the 70s. I mean, before Star Wars even.
I love
Are you talking about George Lucas now?
Yeah, THX 1138. He had these he had these robot cops in there, and when they swung their baton, it sounded like a lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
Before they even had before he made Star Wars, and then you can see how Darth Vader looks kind of like a riot cop or something, in a way.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm zoning out on some stuff. I don't know if this stuff is even going to show very well when it's printed. But this has all these like little things in it that I forgot I put in there, like the nose and the eyebrows and in his mouth.
Well, that's
that's cool.
But in a cool way, yeah.
Well, the whole thing is full of stuff like that, but that's why I'm kind of just letting it hang out while we talk, because we're like, one of the things we have to decide is what the card collection is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be like truly the whole page, because that would be only fitting. But like, there's some scenes like the funeral scene. I don't know. I like that. There's so much crap going on that it's like bizarre.
Don't say crap.
Well, I didn't want to say shit on a family. Well, it's not really a family show anymore, is it?
No, not.
Isn't there an artist who would make a face like vegetable type faces?
Oh, I'm sure there's been several. Yeah.
I can't remember the artist I'm thinking of, but look at the face. It was like made up of vegetables. Well,
there's no doubt I've been inspired by other people. I'm not sure who, but none of this is necessarily ever, not been done before. Mm-hmm. It's just being, it's fun because this is how I always used to draw.
I was going to say, this is like a lot of the artwork, the older stuff that I have, it has a lot of the faces within faces.
Well, Jace, do you remember any of this kind of stuff? I think we might have lost him. Maybe he actually destroyed one of my classics.
No, sorry, I was muted. I'm photographing stuff before I mess everything up.
Do you remember destroying one of my classics?
I feel like I remember coloring a picture of a tree woman that I wasn't supposed to color.
Yeah, you took India ink to it, and I got quite pissy with you for about 3 days. I wouldn't talk to you, which was horrible. You were like 3 or 4 years old, I think.
I was not in your life then, Jake. I would have saved you.
But your poor mom was like, "You're not going to talk to him?" I'm like, "Never again." Nope, you destroyed it. I was so bitter. And then I got over it, which was actually a great life lesson for me.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, but at the time I was a spoiled, prima donna. Not that I'm not anymore, but
if it makes you feel any better, I usually destroy my own art too. I just get frustrated with it and scribble over it.
Oh my God.
Even digitally? What about digitally?
No, I'll just clear the layer.
I usually just hide the layer and come back to it.
In my school sketchbook now, instead of getting mad and scribbling stuff out, I'm just trying it again. Our professor gave us some photos to use for reference and asked us to number them when we draw so we can find the figure quickly. So instead of destroying it now, I'm just doing it again, but putting Roman numerals instead of the, I don't know what the digits are called. Are those,
yeah, just the typical. Are you talking about like our alphanumeric digits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what they are. They're just normal alphanumerics.
Yeah. So instead of destroying everything now, I'm just trying to show like, here was my first try. Here's what I'm trying to learn from that try.
Mm-hmm.
But
hey, Jason, are you inline? Are you going to actual school, or are you online?
So the figure drawing class is online right now, but that's more because the professor needed more time to find models.
Okay.
We will be meeting in person in a couple weeks. And then one of my classes, we're meeting in person 3 times. We already had our first session together because she just wanted everyone to get to see each other and get names to tops of heads. Mm-hmm. Not that we could really see faces, but
I was going to say, this is at Fitchburg, right?
Yeah. One of the women in there recognized me from the we had the virtual class together first, and we got there Saturday morning, and she was like, "Hey, it's Jace, right? I recognize your hair."
That's awesome.
And I was like, yep, that's me.
That's me.
Book
Hey.
is going to be thick as crap.
I found the name of that artist, but I can't pronounce it. Gosh.
You're not thinking of El Salvador guy, are you?
No. It's the Deli? No.
Yeah, not him.
This guy was an Italian painter. Giu. It was a Giuseppe.
Picasso? What?
Giuseppe? I don't know how to pronounce
Giuseppe. Giuseppe?
that. Giuseppe?
Yeah. Archibald?
Archimboldo, something like that. I put the link in the private chat, but it's he would paint. He was like I guess a royal painter, and he was just like paint like the Holy Roman Emperor and people like like nobility, and then like make them out of vegetables.
Giuseppe Archimboldo. Looks like. Huh.
There we go. There's the Roman Emperor at the time.
Yeah, it's close enough, right?
It's like,
Very
so
cool.
now what Chris is doing is different, but it's kind of a similar idea.
It's a very similar idea because what you're doing is taking the natural and making it unnatural, you know? That's cool.
Yeah, I heard about him years ago. I don't really know much about him.
This is the first I've ever heard of him, so it's news.
Yeah, I didn't think he was necessarily an influence on you. But.
You see that one? They got the frog on the nose and the fish in the chin, and oh yeah, this is good stuff.
Yeah, there's a chicken in there.
Whoop,
it almost reminds me of the like the found material sculptures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think of it as like
hidden
great. Pictures. Look at this guy. He's amazing.
Where's this guy from? Italy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the
He must have blood from my native land or something.
You're funny, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that I have blood from his. I'm going to try to make him part of mine.
He was from Milan.
Oh, wow. So this was the one.
That was quite a creative place, from what I recall.
Hang on, I want to zoom this up, see if I can zoom it. How come? We'll try this.
It was the second
there we go.
populous city in Italy after Rome, according to Wikipedia. So I know they're not.
Oh, yeah, look at the chicken wing. I see it now, Jace.
Yeah, it's like a whole rotisserie chicken there behind the frog.
Oh, yeah. It does look like.
And then he's got papers in it. This is exactly my style, except he's using animals.
Mm-hmm.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, it's using like food items, I think, typically.
Yeah, I mean, you could eat any one of these, and it looks like I don't know. I thought this was a frog on his head, but that could be another chicken. I could see that being like a chicken leg and
it looks like
wing.
a chicken. Looks like fish. Looks like a chicken leg. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's
very cool.
Oh, look, he's got books in his gut. See, I knew there'd be more if he did that.
Oh, there's books. So I guess it wasn't just like vegetables and fish and.
No, he's using a full spectrum of different items. That's cool.
Yeah,
but it looks like he tried to use organics with the faces, which is really neat.
So it's interesting though that you came out with this, and if you got your own thing going that's kind of similar, but not inspired by him.
No, but I could draw from this to get more inspiration. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's cool that there's this kind of
a kindred idea.
A kindred idea, not a tradition per se, because there's not that many people doing that. I mean, it could be a tradition I'm unaware of.
I've never seen anything like it before. You know, I'm like, wow, this is really up my alley. This is stuff I really appreciate.
Yeah, I'm glad I found that.
Wow. This thing, when reduced, looks completely different. Wow. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on like a 14-inch screen, so what you're seeing might be different.
Oh yeah, I'm on a huge. I don't know. This isn't that huge. It's a 24-inch, but it's pretty large.
Well, that would make a difference, though.
Plus, I will brag to this extent: it is 4K.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
when
yeah.
it's not crashing, it's wonderful.
But it only crashed once, right?
Yeah, and I don't know why. That's what bothers me. I'm wondering if I picked up a Mac virus somewhere, or
You probably did.
yeah, man.
You're
It's all that
everywhere.
ROM siting I've been doing,
Uh-huh.
emulating video
Oh,
games.
okay. That's
Shouldn't go on Twitter. That's why.
No, Twitter's not the one that does it. I go to these game sites and they're like weird. They're like, I don't trust them at all type weird.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
ask you where you were downloading from, but I'm on a Windows and I don't want to have to wipe my hard drive again.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about. You go into them and it's like you just know this is a bad site. Like it's popping up weird things like your download here now, and it's not your download at all, and it's just crazy. You just know that it's trying to do malicious things to your computer.
And that's unfortunate. These these old companies, they just either they just abandon their software or they want you to like pay an arm and a leg for something you've already bought 10 times or
some of them though, are
and,
just a matter of they went out of business or got absorbed and disappeared.
Oh yeah, like complete abandonware too. Yeah, because if something, I was gonna say if like I'll buy Pac-Man because it's available. I'll buy it when it goes on sale or whatever. But I've already bought it like I don't know. Repeatedly.
Well, I found my favorite thing to do is I like to download old games that I used to play and then get sick of them in like 10 minutes and not play them anymore. So it's very good for me to just be able to go, man, I really missed that one game, and I put it on and go, I
totally understand that.
No.
My rule of thumb is if I can pay for it, I'll pay for it, but so many things now just aren't accessible. There's so many games that are trapped on consoles from 15 years ago or more, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna go buy a secondhand used PSP so that I can buy that one game I like that's $80 now on eBay. And
I'm just
you're much more moral than I'm more like, I don't care if I can buy it again. I'm probably going to be sick of it in 10 minutes.
And
I'm sick of it in 10 minutes.
And what if I'm not telling people to use emulators or whatever, not saying I necessarily use them, just saying that what if somebody has a game in one format but they can't, if it's not necessarily the best, just because something's been reissued doesn't mean it's necessarily in the most playable form.
Well, that's true too.
Could be using a bad, hypothetically speaking, there could be game that's running on a really bad emulator or whatever, but that's whatever.
Well, and there are considerations about regional releases. Like there were games released in Europe that we never saw, or in Japan.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, dang, I want to get a piece of that, and I do, and I go find it.
And it's still that way. There's still all these games that I can't. I don't even know how to get. There's I'll see kind of anime inspired games, but it's only available officially in Japan. And I'm still trying to
if they're old enough,
these games.
If they're old enough and you know what to look for, you can find anything in the ROMs. But like Jace was saying, and what I'm trying to warn people of is if you're going to go ROM diving, you better have some good security wear because there's a lot of vultures within the ROMs.
Well, you got to be careful. I think even with Android, if you're not downloading, even if you did download from the Play Store, there could be some, hypothetically, I don't know if there could be some sort of thing that could get past Google and stuff. I don't know.
Just remember, whenever you're running software, anybody can exploit it to do almost anything. So you got to have a level of trust or a level of abandonment. So I've always had this theory where I know if my accounts get hacked, they're going to get a whole bunch of gospel writings. They're going to get comic books, and they're going to get pictures of my cats and dogs. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, gee, did you break in? Did you see my old gospel writings or my new comics? My goodness, I'm not worried about it.
That I don't even know if things are 100% safe on the Play Store, yet alone, what if there's something I can't get there and I have to sideload it and I download the APK file, I think they call it.
Right.
I'm always kind of wondering if I'm going to get a virus that way.
Yeah, you probably will.
Yeah, so there's a lot of those sites I won't go to. Like if I don't.
Although Chromebooks, the nature of a Chromebook, I bet you they're not too bad with viruses at all, because we run, gosh, I run probably 1,400 of them, in my job, and we never have quote unquote a virus issue with them. All we usually have are issues with cheap hardware that simply will not do what you ask it to.
Isn't there a program that scans the file to see if there's a virus?
So antivirus programs are everywhere, but I think in the case of Google, because you're on Chrome OS, and you're tied into the cloud, presumably, I think they claim that mantle and just clear out your system if anything goes wrong. I mean, they're up to what, version 84 something already?
I just thought they had a built-in antivirus, but maybe if the file's too big, maybe
I'm sure they have something.
Because it seemed like either Chrome or maybe I'm thinking Android or both has scanned my files before, ask me if I want to have them scan it.
Well, I know Google does this thing like, if you try to download something that's too big, it'll tell you that it can't scan for viruses. Do you still want it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's some sort of scan mechanism in their download upload thing, but it's limited in scale, so you can kill it. Hey, by the way, Terry.
Yeah.
You were talking about doing an Image Comics thing. What's that about? Talk to us, brother.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say that as indie creators, we need to pool our resources and form a group so we can all just advertise and just get our stuff out there.
It would be nice to have like a union. I hate to say this because it's happened before and they've done it poorly, but it would be nice to be part of a group of creators that just helped each other in ways that were feasible and honest and genuine. Like when I recommend a comic, it's because I believe that the creator's good. I believe that the content is the best they can make it. And the thing about indies is so cool. And I think Jason and I were talking about this in a way. You get to compare yourself to other artists. And there are some you feel you're better than, and some you feel you're worse than, and you get into kind of like a tree where then you start trying to climb. For instance, if we were to sit down in a room with Jim Lee, it would be climbing up a heavy mountain. You know what I'm saying, brother? It would be like, but just being around him would advance your art because you'd be trying to achieve a higher standard because you're sitting in front of a master.
Yeah, I'm loving being surrounded by artists right now. It's definitely a different experience, but
it's inspiring though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not like oh man, I suck, like I'll never be like these guys. It's like, oh shit, that's so cool. Like I want to see how they made that.
Yep.
First of all, I'm gonna tell you what I tell everyone else. Don't aspire to be like me, but aspire to be like you. Because you may be able to do something I can't.
But I must tell you guys, my inspiration to be like John Byrne has not successfully made me like John Byrne. It successfully kept me moving forward. And now I don't think I ever really want to draw like John Byrne, but I love seeing his influences in my art. When they just pop up, you draw a chick or you draw a face or you draw a piece of machinery and you go, oh, John Byrne is still in me somewhere. Cartooning is funny because I'm starting to learn, like, how they teach you when in doubt, black it out. There's also such a theory in my head now of negative space is not necessarily bad. Like negative you can white stuff out too.
Negative space is your best friend.
Yeah. But like there are things you can do when you're, especially if you're drawing like a high contrast shadow situation, when you're on the high end, when you're in the light, you can take advantage of like just a little hint of a line and it'll feed the imagination the whole face. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's weird because I've been doing a lot of looking at different art styles with the shadows. And you know, if you actually take it out of context and you take the line art and separate it like, say, a jigsaw puzzle, it doesn't look like anything until you put it all back together again, because they're all just like squiggles. They're just little crappy lines that don't mean anything until they're next to each other.
Exactly.
Hey, Diana, how's your artwork going?
It's not.
Oh, come on now. You were doing good last week, and I saw you doing a little bit of the little guy.
Well, I know. I honestly, I don't have enough time for it.
Okay, you know what? I'm
All
gonna fire you so you can focus on your art.
Yeah, don't do that. Then you might as well just close up shop because none of this other stuff is going to get done.
Yeah, no, you're not fired. I'm just teasing.
He likes to say that, likes to make them. But
I say that in memory of Trump because you know he's not going to be anywhere anymore. He's going to disappear for like the next 5 years.
You asked me about my artwork. It was a doodle. It was fun to doodle.
There were several doodles as you worked with it.
Shifting gears in my thing. So I'm changing, instead of going for one thing, I'm changing.
Okay, wait a minute. You're not using pronouns again. I'm going to translate. She's changing majors in her college pursuit.
What are you
not changing her thing to the thing.
I'm tired. Plus I'm doing homework and everything else. What's that?
What are you switching to?
I am going for major in English and creative writing instead.
Awesome.
I'd rather write children's. I've always wanted to write a children's book, always, since I was your age, Jason. I wrote a bunch of poetry. I've gotten some little short stories here and there. Then I found myself, I went into psychology because I was thinking I would continue to pursue the behavior analyst field, but I don't want to do that. I'm kind of getting burnt out with it.
Hey, me too.
I love it. I mean, I love working with the kids. I love all that. But as I was venturing down in my psych major, I'm like, gag me. I don't want to do, I could care less about personality, blah, 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 blah. I don't even like it. It's like, okay, this is fun for like to read a couple of chapters, but now it's like, I don't want to do a research design. I don't want to do all that. So I talked to my advisor. I mean, I'm doing great. I'm getting A's. I'm a straight A student. I've actually gotten inducted into the college level National Honor Society. Woo,
Very cool.
Yeah, they sent me an invitation and all that, which was kind of cool. I'm like, oh, yay, this is good. I'm working, but I wasn't having fun. The reason I went back to school was to have fun.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, guys, listen, I'm going to be 60 in June. I'm an old lady. Chris is going to put me out to pasture. I'm like, really, am I going to be doing anything in the next 5 years with this degree that I'm working so hard to get? No, I don't see me like, I'm not going to become a BCBA. Got to get a master's to even sit for the exam. I'm not doing that. So I said, well, what else do I like to do? I love to write. My husband's a writer. He's a comic book creator. He's an artist. So it kind of goes, I think it goes
very
better.
encouraging of you doing it too.
Yeah, he were encouraged at anything. He was like, whatever you want to do, honey. But I wasn't having fun anymore. I'm like, oh my God, I've got to do this research design. This is so boring. I don't really care. It's hypothetical. It's not even real. This is the dumbest thing. Like, this is my mindset. So yeah, I switched it. I should be starting. I'll be finishing up this course. Personality psychology. I'll finish this up, of course, and then I'll start my new track sometime in March. So I'm kind of excited about that. And I'm only doing one course at a time because that's all I can afford and that's all I can physically manage. But yeah, so
it's funny you mention all that because I'm, fresh into my art education program and I'm kind of already like, do I even want to do art education or do I just want to be an art student? Like, do I just want to be an artist?
Right.
And I figure worst comes to worst, I would have the qualifications to be an art teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But I've already reached out to a local art studio that I've gone to for some paint nights and stuff for fundraisers. And I was like, hey, you looking for part-time help or an assistant teacher?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for some experience. And
Cool.
my job has been a huge pain in the ass lately. So I'm kind of just like sick of all of it.
Yep.
It sucks being at a company, but essentially being a free agent still.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like
Mm-hmm.
bidding for hours.
Is that how that works?
Hey,
Yeah,
listen, I've been told, because the place I work for is looking, if you want to have a discussion with the clinical director, if you want to move from where you're at, they would love to talk to you. Just saying. No pressure. But,
I might have to ask you what they pay, because that's kind of the school I was working at before wanted me back too. And I was like, guys, I would love to come back, but you can't offer me what I need to pay my bills.
right. I don't know what you make, because they asked me and I said, I don't know what he makes, but I can find out. I said, all right,
Yeah.
well, we can talk after. You let me know.
We can discuss it off stream. Yeah.
Sure. But anyways, I'm excited that you've gone back to school, because even though your track is like to become an art teacher, you always have that as a that'll be a backup for you. Because as you know, to make it in the field of art, it takes a lot. You have that drive though. So you're not afraid to like call people up and say, hi, I'm here.
Oh yeah, I sent them an email out of the blue and I was like, hey, I'm Jace Tamulevich. This is my deal. I'm looking for experience. I've been there before, and you guys kind of offhandedly offered me a job. You asked if I'd be interested in instructing painting, and at that time I wasn't.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, now I'm on track to move into art education, and I'd like to get more experience and maybe an apprenticeship with you.
Awesome, honey. That's so good.
I'm going to nag them and see if they give me a response. I know that things are a little weird with COVID at the moment, but I won't know unless I really...
That's right. That's the key.
Haggle.
Yeah, you just gotta, you gotta put it out there. You never know. Even if you go in and you're just doing as a helper and you're not doing instruction at this point,
Well, I figured like if I just go in as an assistant teacher, then it's like I'm getting experience. And if something does open up, it can be a matter of, hey, we've got that guy that's been here for 6 months that helps teach every Thursday or whatever. Like
exactly. No, I think that's great.
Well, that's how
it does
a lot of people get their positions with the schools now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I did.
I was talking to Kyle about my whole deal, and I was like, I finally feel like I found where I belong.
Right.
I just, did it 10 years later than I should have.
Yeah, that's all right. You're there. That's all that matters,
But we were talking, it was like, man, if I had gotten on this right track earlier, when I was at Seaman Paper, it would have probably been a done deal. It would have been like, oh, here's this art student that's really passionate and good at this stuff.
Yep.
I'm like, well, might have missed that one, but
it's okay, because you know what? You're here now, and that's all that matters, and you're excited to do it. And maybe back then you wouldn't have been quite ready to do it, Got to think of it like that too.
The thing that stinks is I know I've spent so many years just doodling and not doing good art practice. Which is great, because now I'm aware of where my weaknesses are, where I'm like, I need to start drawing from reference, because I don't really have a solid grasp of form enough to do it from imagination.
Right.
But I'm like, man, I wish I had tackled this in, 2011.
I can relate. Oh, Lord.
Now, the real exciting thing is going to be, now that I'm getting my own ass in gear, is going to be calling up my sister and saying, hey, listen, we're both artists. What are we doing? How are we making money? What's our business?
No kidding, right? And see, you are that one person in all seriousness that she will listen to. And, who knows what it could be.
Jace, if we're gonna get the Partridge Family on the bus, we need you to be the lead singer.
There you go, honey.
If the Brady Bunch is gonna rock, you need to be Greg.
Why are you such a nerd? Oh my God, your father.
Is it bad that my reference point of that is a Family Guy episode that spoofed it and not the Brady Bunch?
No,
that's perfectly cool.
that is so funny.
Okay.
I
Look
actually
cool.
watched. Chase, you'd be so proud of me. The other day, I was so bored. I'm like, I want to watch a documentary. So what did I watch, Chris? What was the name of those two little fellows? The
Two little fellows.
the guys. Come on, Jace. Jace watched it
Oh,
when
you
we.
watched the South Park
Yeah. Oh my
documentary.
God, the South
Oh,
Park.
Matt
It
Stone and
was
Trey Parker.
so good. It was so good.
Yeah, those guys are, for as crude as their shows are, they're actually super intelligent guys.
They're geniuses. They're just really rough around the edges. But the
Okay, no,
documentary
wait.
was
Can
really
I
good.
just interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
They're stoner buddies.
No.
I've heard the same stuff in garages and in bar rooms. The thing is, the one guy, I don't know which one, the one who's a little bit more put together, he's smart enough to have made this a living for them. Like, they're just guys goofing off with the craziest crap. And it's like,
No, you got to give them credit for stuff like Cannibal the Musical and the Book of Mormon. Like,
I
there's
will
some real
give you
chops
that.
in there.
Yeah, they're not just guys.
They blossomed into that. When they started off, though, they were just shits and giggles.
No way, Cannibal was before South Park.
No.
Wasn't it?
Well, I guess mileage varies. I just think they were goofing before they got into the real deal of what they were doing. But even what they were doing, the idea of taking cutouts and step-by-step animating it, that was pretty revolutionary cool. Like,
have you not watched Cannibal the Musical, the cowboy western?
I don't know if I have or not.
Oh boy, way back in '93.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have, but the way you're talking, I feel like I missed something.
Well, no, I know what you're saying about like the South Park started really crude, but
yeah,
was that both of them who did the cannibal thing?
You know, that type of silly stuff. But well, I didn't realize. So that Cannibal,
I thought it was funny.
That was '93 was that definitely was before South Park aired.
Diana loved it at any rate.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
That was really surprising too, because she was not a South Park fan.
You know what's funny though? The whole last two seasons, they keep putting stuff like #cancel South Park. It feels like they won out, but they're still making so much money that they're like, how do we just offend people enough to get taken down?
Well, I had the feeling for some of the seasons seem like they're so much stronger than some of the other seasons, and it seemed like maybe they kind of got distracted with side projects, or maybe got more interested. It seemed like the ones with a PC principal, like that seemed pretty solid. Like the ones, like some of the ones leading up to the election, I can't remember if that in 2016. I can't remember if that had to do with PC principal as well, or if that was a different
principal. Is great. I love that character.
For a while, they did a story arc, and then they abandoned it. So I don't know. I guess it depends on the season.
Well, they do the thing so darn fast. Their turnaround time is what, a week?
Yeah,
I think so. Because
pretty much.
I think their pilot was I think they had more than one thing that led up to South Park. Like they had a pilot, and they had something before that they had made. But
no, but I mean, according to the documentary, the style in the studio they use now, it's so digitized, and actually they do most of it on Macintosh. They just run right through an episode a week, and it's like, wow, the turnaround on that.
They did. I think they digitized the construction paper. Like they use that to turn it into computer models or something.
Yep.
Well, that's why they were able to stay so topical during the last, 4 or 5 seasons. And it's kind of amazing because you see current events happen in the media and news and stuff, and then Fridays South Park was making fun of it, and you're like, oh shit, guys, that was quick.
That's like live video.
It seemed like they were mainly dealing I don't remember them being so topical like in the early Kick the Baby type episode.
Well, because back in those days, when
they were doing
in the
it all
documentary,
cut out,
they said those took as long as 6 months.
Well, they were cutting everything out. It was so cool. Like, check it out. The documentary was really worth watching. And what I found interesting is these two guys just came together. They had a story. It was the very first movie that was a joke that they made. and I can't even remember the name of it now. The very before they were even famous, people were sharing it with them. They were showing them, hey,
Yeah.
look at this, right? And they're like, yeah, we made that. And then all of a sudden, they went to a variety of different studios. They all laughed at them. And so they said, fine, we'll just do it on our own. But I thought it was very fascinating given that I've watched all of you guys, Chris, Terry, now Jace, draw and create all this stuff. And these guys are like a week at a time they had their show. I just thought it was super cool to watch. And
Yeah,
it
was the
can-
original like, Christmas oriented thing, like a 5-minute short about Santa?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Or something. I don't know if it was exactly 5 minutes or 15, but I thought it was like a short.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Short.
I remember hearing about that. So so it wasn't just the pilot in that short film. They did a few episodes that were construction paper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I
think they did that for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, the early stuff is really hard to watch now. It's when you go back to it, it's like, oh
Yeah.
wow, this definitely looked better when I was a child.
But I actually
Probably shouldn't
kind of
have
like
seen
it
it then,
because
but-
it looks that primitive, and you realize like I really am looking at a piece of construction paper that's being just shoveled along.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a great illusion while it lasted.
It was just, it was just a really, like, I didn't think, and I remember it only because Jace used to watch it and he was young and I'd be beside myself and he'd be cracking all the jokes between that and Family Guy. I used to go crazy. My daughters could never watch it. And then all of a sudden we met Jace and Chris and now they're all big.
Do you remember that story? Because
Oh,
I told
God.
them, they came in and I had told Jace that SpongeBob SquarePants would make a person like crazy and gay, and it would turn you into like a Satan worshiper. And
Did you tell him it was the Antichrist?
yes, I told him it was the Antichrist. And
So you know what's funny though?
yeah,
Throughout the years, especially in college, with a lot of my friends, we would talk about how I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob because it would make me gay. And anecdotally, the thing I found was a lot of the people I talked to about were either straight women or gay men. It was like, see, now you do all have the thing in common where your sexual preference leans towards penises. And
Jace.
I wasn't able to watch the show, and I don't.
Well, there actually was that movie where didn't Patrick end up wearing a dress in the SpongeBob movie?
hey, but wait, it gets better because I told him in turn that South Park was just fine, and look how intelligent you came out, son.
Oh my
Well,
God.
I was gonna say I wasn't allowed to watch Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. If you caught me watching, I wasn't in trouble, but it was like, all right, switch it back to Fox.
Yeah,
Yep.
or
Yeah.
or
We
why
gotta
aren't
listen
you
to the
watching
O'Reilly
Comedy
Report.
Network?
Oh, it was
'Cause
crazy.
I used to let him and Mike.
With like Rocko's Modern Life, which actually has a trans character now in the movie they made.
Yeah, I heard about that. But
It's
in
kind of
the thing with Jace, he along with his cousin Mike would hang out with me, and they would sing Uncle Fucker, which was from the movie.
Oh my God. Don't even get
Yeah.
me going.
Oh, it was so funny though. I'm sorry. There was nothing funnier than watching my 11-year-old son and my 13-year-old nephew in the backseat of my car going, "You're a motherfucker."
Oh, I remember the first time I saw that, just how over the top that song was.
I
Well,
love
and
that
they knew
musical
every
still.
lyric, Lorenzo. It was hilarious.
Oh, I could never remember the lyrics. But yeah, maybe if I had learned it as a kid, if I watched it as a kid, I probably would have memorized it.
I won't torture you with my singing, but it's going through my head even
It
now.
was one of those things where it's one of those things where if it's not something that kids are not supposed to watch, they will never pick up on it.
Jace, do you remember lyric for lyric?
I'm going through it in my head, and I think I might.
That's bad.
Oh my God.
But that's
The
how it
best
was
part is
when we were
that you're
growing
a
up, right?
bone-biting bastard, Uncle Fucker.
That was just the way it was until you came along, honey,
Yes,
and fixed
I know.
it all.
But I don't
Everything.
know if I didn't fix it. I just kind of was like, girls, go in the other room. You can't watch that.
No, I don't
That must
know.
have been horrifying for you, Diana.
But in the end, they sort of gelled. Like for as weird as their influences their parents were, they did great.
I think, scarily enough, if we didn't have Diana in our lives, I might have ended up like my older cousin.
I
And
don't
that
think you would have.
terrifies me. I don't know.
No,
He was
you
my
were
role
already,
model.
but you were already on your own little world thing because you were like vigilante. Like you probably would have been out there in a mask.
Yeah, I was gonna end up in juvie for
You, yeah,
Yeah.
well,
pedophile.
but your causes were wonderful. You're like, yeah, that's a child molester. I'm going to go kill him. Great
Hi, Tank.
instincts.
Chris,
Yeah,
somebody
also
came in
because-
the room.
What, Diana?
Somebody came in the comments. Tank.
Oh, I didn't
Well-
see that because I'm.
Well,
I'm
that's I know.
private.
I know. Well,
Tank Ferret.
hmm
Hey, Tank. Oh,
Oh, hey,
Ferret,
Tank
not Ferret.
It's cool.
That's a cool name and a cool icon too.
He's a good guy. He's one of the founding members of the Sleek Statkins.
No kidding.
So yeah, well, so is Terry actually. He was on the early shows along with was it Manny and never got ERTs on there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I did
Rick
last
Riker,
Thursday
too.
night, Lorenzo?
Huh?
I slept. I slept again. I don't know what it is about Thursday nights.
Well, I'm aiming for tomorrow night at was it 8 p.m. Eastern. Planning on I don't know. There's a guy who I added to the group, the Sleek Stackians recently. His name's Cactus.
Cactus. Yes, I've seen them.
Yeah. He wants to talk about the Disney theme parks. So I'm not sure
Ooh,
if
that's
it's an entire
interesting.
show, but
My
I'm
wife
trying to
just
do
went to
some
one of those.
Huh? Sorry.
Diana,
hello. What? I'm sorry.
didn't you just go to Disney?
Yes, I went to Disney.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What about
Anything good to say about it?
I love it. Can't wait to go back again in a couple of years. We're going to save my
Anything
pennies
good
and
to say
head back.
about Disney?
Which Disney?
Diana,
Disney
did
World
you-
in Florida.
Oh, okay, cool. That's where I went as a little kid.
Mm.
Apparently Disneyland in
I'll take that as a no.
What's that?
Diana, did you guys end up going to the Avatar section at Animal Kingdom?
Yes, we did, and yes,
What-
we did ride the ride. And yes, it is amazing.
When we went with Mom and Dan, they got tired, so they wanted to go back to the hotel and sleep, which
my
ended
God.
up being great because the Avatar place was like gorgeous at night.
Mm-hmm.
It lights up and it's like a whole different world.
Yep, we did. We went there at night. Oh my God, it was amazing.
That's really cool.
Well,
I had
and
so much
at first I was like, "Oh, I can't believe we're going to take a nap." It's like 3:30 in the afternoon, but we went down there. I think it was at like 10 p.m. because they closed it off to everyone except for the hotel guests.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't super packed, and I don't know.
Mm.
I'm over the movie, but being in the setting in a reconstruction was super
It was
cool.
beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You did the ride, of course, right? Please tell me you did the ride.
Yes. And we did the river ride too, the float on the
Yeah,
river.
that was gorgeous. Oh my
But-
God.
We got stuck on it. It broke down while we were there,
Oh no.
and we were next to one of the blue people at one point. She's like singing and chanting and waving her arms around.
Okay.
So we got stuck next to her, but she never stopped moving.
Oh wow.
The audio would cut in and out. It got really creepy because it was like 15 minutes of just watching this animatronic like wave its arms, and the lights would come off and on, and I was like,
Oh my God.
"This
That
thing's
is
gonna
creepy.
get up and kill us."
No, but it is.
Oh,
It is
that's fine.
definitely. You have to love that kind of thing. Your dad won't go, so I take the kids. Me and the kids go.
I'm allergic to Disney. I went too many times as a youngster.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you definitely ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
For the
I only
most
went
part.
once as a kid or at all in my life. But it was Disney World or Land. I actually liked Epcot the best.
Epcot is awesome.
The thing that really ruined it for me was I just always felt like Islands of Adventure and the Universal Park was so much better that I was like, I don't want to go to Disney. I want to go to Jurassic Park. and
Yeah, that's
I
true.
want to go
too.
to the Marvel Land, and even
Right.
Dr. Seuss World was cool.
Is that all at Universal?
Yeah, and Disney feels old compared to that if you're in Florida.
I
Which
would
we were.
imagine so because it's been around so long.
The other thing is Disney. I had my big, You made me go on that goofy roller coaster, which shouldn't have been scary or bad, but I was scared of it, and I tried to hide and duck my head down. So there's a part where you like go over one of the bumps, and I already had my head down into the like armrest secure thing, and I just like bumped my head on it. And I remember as a kid, I was like, I hate roller coasters. I hit my head on the roller coaster. I could have died, even though I hit a cushioned bar.
Right.
But
I can understand that though.
For a long time, I think I was maybe 6 or 7 when that happened. So for a long time, I was like, I hate Disney. Their roller coasters are scary. I don't do rides anymore.
Yeah, you were down on rides for a while.
Yeah.
I still don't really like them.
So you were allowed to go to Disney. So he took you to Disney World a few times, it sounds like, but you weren't allowed to watch the Disney Channel.
Well, no, it wasn't quite like that. The Disney Channel was just, it was like
Disney Channel was more like, it's annoying. Like, can we switch it?
Yeah, but it wasn't son, we need to have a spiritual talk. I know you're only 7, but we're not going to have any of this SpongeBob. You hear?
Well, that's the funny thing.
You consider that to be worse, more annoying?
I just felt this spiritual angst against SpongeBob, right? And South Park, I actually thought was quite intelligent. I thought the humor was
it could
highbrow toilet humor. And my son,
contradiction terms, but
my son, I know,
but maybe not.
But my son and I could relate on that level, and it was great because at that time it was pretty much just he and I. So when we would watch it and we could relate to it, like Uncle Fucker is a great example. Some guys would sing, I've been working on the railroad or something like that. Nope, we would sing Uncle Fucker. It was great.
It's like it's hard to explain why that song is funny. I think it's just because it's so over the top and.
It's funny because it's Blame Canada. It's Canada's fault.
That's true. I forgot that was in the same movie. Yeah. It was so surreal.
And then there's all the things from the show where it's like, Dad, are there really monkeys with 4 asses?
Yes, son, there are.
Do you remember Imagination Land and how the terrorists attacked our imagination?
Oh, Imagination Land was great.
So the thing was, though, Jace was pretty much brought up where he could watch anything he wanted except for sex. Sex made me uncomfortable. So, like, we would rent Resident Evil, and he would hide when the zombies came out, but still watch the movie. I don't know how old you were when I took you to Mortal Kombat, but you didn't last past the opening scene there.
I have, like, a very strong traumatic memory of the brother getting killed and him doing the "Your soul is mine" and being very scared.
Yes, you were.
I don't remember how old I was. And then I remember we got the VHS and it was one of my favorite movies.
Yep. But in the theater, you freaked out so bad. And I was like, it's over. It's over. It's done. And
well, here's how we found out how old I was.
I don't care.
I can understand that.
So off we went. We left the theater.
That's
so
funny.
that came out in 1995. So I was probably 2.
Yeah. You were young.
I was going to say, you guys didn't even say how old the kid was. It's not like he was, 10, 11, or 12. He was a baby. There goes Daddy Chris. Come on, son. We're going to go watch this movie.
Yeah, so I watched a man get murdered. A dude sucked his soul out and he turned into a skeleton, and I was done.
But he liked the video game.
Well, see, the weird thing is, you also had me watching The Crow at a very young age, and I was like, wow, that Brandon Lee guy is cool. I'm gonna smoke.
No.
Yeah, I did have you kind of whacked up. It's amazing that you came out like you did.
Although the great thing about loving that movie as a kid is I grew up and I was like, I can't believe men treat women like that. I should do something. I should hurt those guys.
Yep. Oh, he had a sense of heroic chivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a wonderful thing to watch.
Not the smarts to know that I didn't actually have the strength and would get my ass kicked.
Yeah, but sometimes that's not the point.
That's true.
Well, Jace, all you needed was the military training and you would be the Punisher.
Well, the thing that's a real shame is, Dad, I don't think you ever showed me Karate Kid. I think I found that later in life, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I don't think we ever did see it.
I could
Not
have
together.
become Danielson and gotten a Mr. Miyagi, and
Yeah, he was really cool. Did you see Karate Kid 2 as well?
I haven't. I just bought the trilogy because we watched all of Cobra Kai, and that was really, really good.
We'll throw out number 3 and, watch 1 and 2. 2 is as good, if not better, than number 1.
Oh, really?
In
Which
my
one is-
opinion.
Well, so even not knowing 2 and 3 well, they incorporate them into Cobra Kai, and I was
Yeah.
immediately like, I need to get this whole
Series.
history and lore.
So 1 was where he first meets Miyagi and gets trained. 2, he goes to what's the name of the Okinawa?
He goes to Okinawa.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Yep.
And that was just a great, fantasy hero versus bad guy type story.
They're bringing
And
back.
then-
I heard they're bringing back that actress from. I think she was in she was the second one with, and she said she wanted to. She started talking about representation, but it sounded like in an interesting way because she was talking about making Okinawa accurate to what it's really like there. So that could actually be really good. Could be interesting if done properly.
I'm sure it will be too, but I don't remember anything about 3 other than I think Daniel-san got fat. Like there were a few years between 2 and 3, and the whole everything in 3, I just felt like the director was trying to hide it. Hang on, let me Google. I'll see if I'm right. But I just remember Daniel-san
I didn't hear
being.
people talk about the third one ever. I don't. That's probably the one I didn't watch. I probably saw the second one.
Now, do you remember a point where Daniel joined Cobra Kai?
No,
Because they mentioned.
Oh yeah.
They mention it at one point in Cobra Kai, and I couldn't tell if it was like BS. He was just talking to students trying to like make a point with a fake story.
No, the thing
Is that like a martial arts organization or like a secret group or?
Yeah, they're the rival group in the first Karate Kid.
Oh,
okay.
yes, the one he Silver offers to train Daniel at
so
the
we
Cobra
can
Kai dojo.
so we can compete in
that
the
was-
tournament again.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the plot of 3. So yeah, I remember it now. Hang on a second. I'm going to see a trailer. I do think this was the one where he had gotten fat, though.
So was Cobra Kai? Were they like bad people? I mean, like were they like using martial arts for evil, or am I?
Yeah,
Pretty much that was the idea.
It's more of their martial arts is all about being powerful and crushing the enemy, but of course you give that to high school kids and they become bullies, and their whole mantra is strike first, strike hard. So it stops being about defending yourself and it becomes like, I want that, I'm going to go take it.
Oh, I see. So it seems like maybe for an adult, maybe it'd be like, would that be like really efficient or something for defeating one's opponent? But
yeah, because the sensei there is a Vietnam vet that learned this hand-to-hand combat that was like, hey, it's do or die out here.
Okay, yeah.
Then he's teaching that combat to high schoolers for a martial arts tournament.
Oh, without like the honor or what is it? I can't think of what it's called exactly, but there's like a certain level of respect that should be.
Yeah, like I think
I didn't really learn it too well, but judo. I mean, that's actually even a martial sport. They're not even calling it a martial art, at least when I took it.
I think the thing with Cobra Kai too is like they have this thing of win no matter the cost. So there's like a kid that attacks another kid at the tournament while his back is turned. Like the round isn't even going anymore, and he gives him like an axe kick to the shoulder, and
that's kind of like a below the belt type move, or you don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
So he doesn't look too fat, not as fat as I remember, but he was odd.
Well, the show Cobra Kai on Netflix is excellent, and that's even without being a big Karate Kid fan.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of good things about it too.
Yeah, it was on Snowdrop, but it was like I think Jolly the puppet, and she calls herself, and this woman, she calls herself Saggy Malins now. She used to call herself Hair, but they were talking about it. They talk about like a lot of popular entertainment, and she does a lot of video game streams on her channel. But it sounded real interesting. Then somebody was trying to claim it was just mediocre or something, but they were really praising it.
Yeah, I love the show, which is so weird because I hate TV, but Kay put it on one night and I started watching it with her, and then I was like, oh, we should watch more Cobra Kai.
So it's definitely, I heard a couple of people at work said it was really good. I got to check it out, I guess.
Yeah.
I know Netflix has some really good stuff.
It started out as a YouTube original.
Yep.
Yeah, it was on YouTube Red before I think kind of shit the bed. Actually, I don't know if YouTube Red is still going, but
I got YouTube Premium, but I guess it's a different kind of thing than what YouTube Red was.
YouTube Premium.
it's funny because the thing that's really appealing about YouTube is that it's not network television, but for a while they were trying to turn it into like a network television deal.
Yeah, they even have something called YouTube TV that I think I downloaded the app and then never ever signed in and never registered to use it.
It's almost a shame because it's like you guys don't realize what you have and why you're special.
Yeah, they're constantly going and making it so like if I do some search about something in the news, like MSNBC and Fox will pop up at the beginning at the top of the screen. Well, General Grudge is in the chat. Hey, General.
Yeah. Grudge. What's up, General? Welcome aboard.
Hello.
General has left Twitter, if I'm accurate in reading his tweets.
Yeah, I did see something like that pop up.
I don't blame him.
I think
Twitter
he's on
sucks.
Minds, and then he was talking about some other place that didn't seem like the place I necessarily want to be, but it's not. I mean, because
I think he said Parlor as well, but I can't get Parlor to fire up.
Well, I think there was a third one that he talked about that I had.
It's gonna be a
it wasn't Parlor. It was something else that it sounded like they were gonna be working on a bot to go and unless that wasn't General Grudge, but like it seemed like there could be some sort of censorship there on the not Minds, but whatever other place he was talking about.
I don't know. I joined just about everywhere that people go, and then if it stays alive, I'll start posting there. But a lot of times it just seems that people just gravitate back to Twitter. They just do.
Yeah, it might not have been General Grudge. I could have been thinking someone else who was on this other platform. But yeah, a lot of people are on multiple platforms nowadays. So it's.
I just have accounts and I'm like, well, if somebody posts something and I catch it, great. If not, there's not much I can do. Only hope for the best.
It's a shame that I hate Twitter. The only time I ever really used it was in college when we did the dance shows, and they would always be like, "Oh, if you want your things read, tweet us at this." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm part of Dance Club, and I want to be in this." Yeah,
I went and I didn't join it for a number of years, and because I had a feeling that it would be a bad situation, and I didn't like that there was a limited number of characters, and I think they expanded it a little bit, but still, it's so limited.
I think they actually doubled it, but to me, that's not even the problem of it. It's just the nature of it, because there's a lower character count, people get more to their point quicker. And then it becomes more like a sting fest, who can out sting the next guy.
Well, a lot of times I have to go and write a second tweet and nobody's going to read that.
Oh, heck no. Yeah.
Well, the problem is you just can't get any real nuance or context then when it's like, you've got, it's not 140 anymore. It's something like 256, I think. But it's like,
yeah, exactly.
If you want to have a serious discussion about a serious matter, you can't do that in 256 characters, especially when 4,000 anonymous people are going to reply to your tweet and just be like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah, they pile on. Like
exactly the problem is there's a character limit. It doesn't allow for nuance. It's difficult enough in text to try to explain things within. Because people can't tell the tone.
But we complain about that and yet that's part of the draw of it. You know, like they've carved them out a niche with this system that drives us crazy. Yet users of Twitter just keep doing it. You know, it's I've noticed that like Facebook is not as lively. Mines, I don't get any action on Mines, and
Really?
and like I said, Parlor seems dead. But
Well,
Mines, don't you have to go through the website now?
Probably gonna be done for a while. Yeah.
On
You have to go through the website.
on Apple devices.
Are you
See,
saying
I'm on an
Minds
Apple device,
is-
so like the app system is totally screwed up so long as Apple's playing Big Brother, you know?
On Android, I had to download the app from the
Yeah.
site directly in order to get the most up-to-date version and without the censorship, because the Play Store has a censored version. I think Apple just might have banned it altogether, or maybe they have just the censored version of the app.
Right.
Apple did bring it all together.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to log in. Just log out of Twitter and never use it again, the way I did with what was that called? Google Plus. Well, I think I started using that again before it, and then it got then they just shut it down.
Oh, this is
Because I used it quite a bit, and
So Grudge makes comics too, General Grudge. And I wish you were in the chat because Terry was talking about like an Image Comics type of union type of network of creators, and it would have to start on a core level with guys like us, because anything else, I don't know, when the guys are too big, it sucks the air out of the room.
well, those guys, I thought that I thought those big guys were going to start some sort of I thought they were going to start their own comic book company, but I think they all kind of started their own separate ones.
The thing is, everybody wants to run their own show, and in reality, that's fine. But when you don't have how do I put this? When your stream only flows one way, the people downstream don't get what the people upstream get, and it doesn't really work out as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to put it.
Well, they destroyed. Yeah, they actually shut it down, I think. And like the funny thing is, I had gone back and started to use it a little bit before it shut down altogether.
You know why I don't like Image Comics?
Why is that?
I didn't hear from my father for like 4 months, and then one night he spontaneously needed a weekend vector art project, and not a small one.
That's not Image Comics. That's Comicsgate.
Oh, all right. Well,
so yeah,
Comicsgate sucks then.
So I was doing the new Comicsgate logo for Preston, and I decided I needed a vector quick, and I tried to con Jason to doing it, and he was like, "Hell no!"
No, I told you I'll do it. I'll charge you my hourly rate that I get paid at work, and then I'll add on a fee for needing it in 3 days.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that Preston's Comicsgate is like he's referred to by the people who some of the people who traditionally call themselves Comicsgate refer to him as Anti-Comicsgate, and then somehow end up with a trademark. I mean,
it's kind of funny.
A book using the.
I mean, God bless Preston and all, but he's become more distant. In fact, many of the people that I thought were going to be close to us on a comic book level have kind of gone one way, while other people have come out and stood stronger. You know what I mean? It's not a knock on them. People get busy and things happen. But what I thought was going to happen, say, in 2018 to 2019 is not what transpired. Yeah. And COVID, you can blame for some of it, but not all of it.
Not all of it, no.
There was a lot of things that happened though with Comicsgate, and then the critics of Comicsgate, and then like I don't know. I don't even know. These labels don't really make much sense to me. Like because I watch YouTube channels and buy comic books from all of different factions. I think
it's weird for me because I came into the whole Twitter thing after going to conventions and being told, oh, Twitter's a great place to publicize and get involved. And like my first day in the door, I had like, feet in my face because I ran across a war campaigner. And so I never had a chance to understand anything really positive about Comicsgate or War Campaign. So for me, like it's weird. I just want to make comics.
Yeah. Well, Comicsgate started as a consumer revolt.
Yeah, that's what. I didn't like the label. I never really liked the label. I've used it occasionally. I have to use it with a lot of nuance. If I do use it, I have to say, well, if Comicsgate means harassment, well, I don't support it. But if it means books that aren't beating people over the head with a message, creators treating the customer right, well, I support that.
See, my real problem wasn't
don't most customers just want a book that's not going to bludgeon them with a message? And
well, the thing about it, okay,
most customers want to be mistreated.
Yeah, but the thing about the message thing,
yeah,
I don't care if they put messages in the books.
Oh yeah,
it's that the creators have to be of a certain talent to be able to weave those properly into a story where you don't mind having it in there.
Yeah,
for instance, like the way they brought Iceman out of the closet, so to speak, was so abrupt and poorly written that it made the whole transition not work. You could have made Iceman gay.
Is it really that these writers are? Is it because these writers are so-called SJWs, or is it because they just maybe they're SJWs and they just happen to be like, say, newer writers or not particularly talented? I mean,
I just don't think they're good enough.
Yeah,
I don't think they're Stan Lee. I don't think they're Chris Claremont. I don't think they're Denny O'Neil.
Most of them have never read the material.
What's
that? Was the other problem. Most of them never read the material. That was the other problem.
Yeah, they didn't have a history to found them, root themselves in.
Well, I don't think so. Marvel and DC are owned by big companies, these large multinational corporations. Yet I don't think Marvel and DC are as big. Those divisions of those bigger companies are as big as they were like when I was a kid, back when I didn't really read comics. So
the thing is now all the talent, but any talent
thing.
Any top tier talent that comics used to get is now going directly into online, creative endeavors, television, movie, multimedia, whatever you want to call it. And they're not getting into the comics because the comic has become passe. It's outdated. It's quote unquote on its way out, but it's still viable enough to pursue, and it can come back just like you've seen other forms of media come back. It's just where's the ceiling, Well,
if you look at like a lot of these Hollywood movies, they just it seemed like the wake part of these like say Star Wars or what, like the Last Jedi or whatever. It seemed like the writing was the wake part. Like it wasn't like Mark Hamill hadn't really changed as an actor, and it seemed like the newer actors all seemed talented enough, but it just seemed like they could only do so much with the lines they were given and the storyline.
No one can see you, Diana.
Why can't nobody see me?
Nobody can see you.
Oh,
nobody.
Yeah. So guys, listen. I want you to note the time.
Yeah, but you weren't even here. You had your camera off.
I was here. I've been working. I just uploaded our coffee thing.
Okay, wait a minute. Say that again. You've been what?
I've been working on Hero Shack stuff.
Oh, really? Cool. Tell us the progress.
Well, I've added some of the tiers to the Indiegogo. I have updated the coffee information.
So hang on, before you go.
What?
I thought Hero Shack was dead.
We're talking, okay, so at least one tier is going to be the PDF, right?
Yes, one tier is a PDF, one is the standard cover and the PDF. And another one we have is the variant cover and the PDF. We'll have just the comic book standalone, just the PDF standalone, and we're putting together some other fun goodies. We're waiting
Well,
for
there'll be an art book because
the art book. Yes, there will be an art book too.
yeah, because and what it'll be is the pages will actually be black and white and color facing each other. So
Right.
you'll get each page printed in black and white and then printed in color so that you can see the actual artwork as opposed to having the lettering on it. And that was the only way I could address what I'm doing properly, because the like 99% of these pages should be like looked at closely. And if they're not, you know what I mean? Like it's a whole nother world inside the artwork. So I want to show them unobstructed. So that'll be the deluxe art book. Anybody who signs up for the early bird and actually orders the comic will get a special edition, limited edition, black and white art book, which is, you know, just for the early birds. We're talking about the cards. We got to get a quote on metal cards for this.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do them larger than the last cards we've done, especially since they're going to be the whole page. But price could be prohibitive. But then again, we just bring up the price of the tier to cover it. If people want them, they can buy them, you know, through that way, and it'll just be more expensive. We are talking about an 1117 series of prints as well, because then you really see the art at 100% where it was created digitally at 1117 palette, 300 DPI. What else are we talking about?
I don't know. You just like ran with it, and so you did a good job. So I'm leaving. That's kind of why I was here. I'm like,
yeah, well, you know, we don't want to put you out or anything, so
yeah, please don't put me out. But guys, I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, though, you know what? We're at 2 hours.
I'm tired.
So we should probably kill the stream anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So I will talk to you guys next week, okay?
Maybe.
You take
he might still be with Hero Shack next week.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay, well, I'm gonna kill the stream
Oh,
and
I'm
go
gonna
to bed.
say I'm gonna be doing that Disney stream tomorrow. If you want to join.
Yeah, what time will that be?
Well, I don't know what time zone you're in. 8 Eastern, no.
8 Eastern. That's my time zone.
Okay.
Hey, somebody named Fozy just joined, but I'm fixing to go offline. Should we say hi? Hi, Fozy.
Hello.
Yo, what's up,
Welcome.
fellas? What's
Hey,
happening?
man, we're just closing down the stream, but I didn't want to be rude and leave you in the back room.
No worries, man. Well, thank you for allowing me to join. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Anytime. We're every Wednesday at 8.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that was that. It's. I'm glad that there was some. There was some interaction from the chat.
We've had some views tonight. I'm happy.
Yeah, you had interaction in the chat, and then had somebody.
Jay showed up with his wall climbing picture. I love that picture, Jay.
Yeah, it's a little hard to look at because it reminds me of what 40 pounds ago and 5-minute mile.
You know what? I'm gonna try to find the Boston pictures when you were jumping on the guardrails there.
You know, for a little bit, you guys were telling me to stop, but after a while, you guys just stopped.
Well, it didn't
Asking
work.
me to-
It's like, yeah, he's gonna do it anyways.
Yeah. I had been
That's
vaulting over the handrail so I could jump off on the other side of that ramp. And you guys were telling me to stop then, and by the time I started climbing storm drains, you were just like, we're not with you.
Yeah, it was like pretending he's not my kid until he falls. Then I'll help him. All right, guys. Well, Terry, man, let's do some correspondence in the next few days about that idea, and maybe we can draw something together. You know, pull a group together. But yeah, I'm gonna go kiss my wife and probably crash so I can get up and work in the morning.
Yeah.
And tomorrow night, 8:00, you guys are talking Disney parks over on your channel.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. I'll have to go.
Yeah, you're welcome too, Terry.
All right.
Blade's welcome. If I don't know how to contact him, but he's welcome.
He's got some experience in him too.
Yeah,
it sounds like you guys used to go all the time.
Well, not all the time, but he's definitely a Florida boy. He knew his parks.
I mean, I went with Mom too. She would do those occasional, I'm pulling you out of school today. and we're going somewhere fun, and then I'll just make Dad deal with the responsibility. I would join, but I've got class tomorrow night, which is it's funny being in an environment that I feel like I finally should be in. I'm excited about class and my homework and stuff. It's a weird feeling.
Oh, that's cool though.
So
Yeah.
it is cool.
Yeah, I
I
wish I
just
had gone
can't wait to
college
start seeing
more
you
than
do stuff with it. You're gonna be awesome, dude.
I think I
Well,
only went for a
welcome
year
to-
or so to college.
Right now, I'm just focusing on abstract gesture drawings and trying to fill in some of the details. I'm looking at a bunch of martial artists right now, trying to get some really dynamic poses because there's only so much you can do of model standing with a hip popped.
Bruce Lee is best martial artist.
He is. I agree with
Well,
that.
I love his physique.
I always use this.
Oh wow.
Here's a book for you.
Nice.
Hiya.
Hiya.
Yeah, how to draw martial arts.
Oh, cool.
See,
How to draw martial arts.
I'm infamous for not using references, and then when I did use references, it was always like some other artist's interpretation of a person.
Yep.
So I'm trying to get back to looking at actual people and figuring out how I stylize that over, trying to copy
Yeah.
artist X, Y, or Z. I don't know. It's going to be a journey. We'll see how it plays out.
It's good.
Yeah,
to
definitely
but
sounds
the thing is,
great.
you're gonna love it anyway.
I'm getting to the point where I was even talking to my wife about I might call up some local museums and see if they'll let me just come hang out and